Hi everybody, thank you guys so much for joining me. I just want to get something off my chest really quickly because I saw this topic online and it's something I've actually discussed already, but I feel like some of my videos get missed, of course, so consider this a refresher course if you've seen it, and if you haven't, welcome. So it was about a young lady who, friendship group, one of the girls in the friendship group posted this, but she is not either of the two girls involved in the story. One girl in the story lost a bunch of weight after being very overweight, and now she is popping her shit and filling herself and all that, you know, as I plan on doing. Anyway, one day when I get to a weight in which I feel comfortable, I'm gonna show up and show out. Anyway, stay tuned. But yeah, so, so she, that's the young lady who lost the weight. And then another girl in the group is feeling some type of way because the girl is starting to find her confidence and, feel herself and, wear more revealing clothes, I'm guessing, something along those lines, whatever. And, it's bringing out the hateration in one of the friends. And the girl who made the post says that she actually wants to have a heart-to-heart with the friend who is caught up in hateration and everything. And I want to say this, and she was asking our opinions, like, why do you think this girl is acting like this? And I put jealousy. There are different kinds of jealousy out there, and I am so sick of people who don't understand this. There's so many different kinds of jealousy. Everybody does not have to want what you have. Everybody doesn't have to want to be you, whatever. It's just different things that can trigger people. I've been jealous of people that I don't want what they have. Like, I don't know how to explain it. Okay, quick story. So, I've talked about this before. This is me talking about my jealousy, okay? I talked about, unsubscribing from, or not unsubscribing. Well, did I unsubscribe? Anyway, I stopped following certain people on their weight loss journeys many years ago because I wasn't doing it. And I was feeling insecure because I was trapped in my food addiction. So it was making me feel like shit. Like, when you're binge eating virtually every day, okay, which is a real addiction, okay, you're binge eating, you don't know how to stop the cycle, and you're watching other people run laps around you, where they're actually dedicating themselves to their process and they're losing the weight and everything, that can be really hard to watch. I'm someone who I love to see other people win. That I do. Even if you're doing better than me, I don't care. It's not a competition in my mind. So even if you're doing better than me, I love to see other people win. But when I am in the gutter and I'm watching you do something that I wish that I could bring myself to do, but I don't know how to get off my ass and do it, yeah, that might be too much. Now, it doesn't mean that I want to be you. It doesn't mean that I want to look like you or anything like that. So it's its own unique kind of jealousy. It's a lot of different kinds of jealousy out there. That's my story, okay? And I don't wish people ill because, of jealousy. I'm also not like that. The closest to that is, when it comes to I'm in a relationship with somebody and I get jealous in that situation, then my irrational mind might think mean things. But in general, me thinking another woman is beautiful, I don't think to myself, you know what? I hope she gains weight, or I hope she loses her looks or something. That's not how I roll, okay? So I hope that makes sense, right? So like I said, it's all different kinds of jealousy, right? Why am I mentioning this though? Is that just basically saying that um, there's also like this whole hierarchy thing that a lot of people have in relationships where, you know, if you're used to being, let's say you have a friendship group and you're used to being the center of attention or something like that, and somebody else takes the attention away, that can be hard. You know, if you think that, you know, let's say it's three of you guys who are overweight, but then there's always a girl who's heavier than you, but that girl who's always heavier than you is starting to lose weight, that can trigger people. And I feel like that's something that people don't talk about enough, is that a lot of people have to have somebody to look down on it, you know, to one degree or another. They have to have someone below them. And when you see that person who was always bigger than you start to get close to where you are, or even smaller than you, that can be really hard, you know. And I experienced that many years ago when I lost weight, where someone who I really care about and who I know cares about me, I think I triggered the hell out of her, because I think she's someone who's dealt with body image issues, and she could always count on me being bigger than her. And then, you know, when at first she was supportive when I was on my weight loss journey, but then it was somewhere maybe like I was in the 220s or something. She said to me very seriously to stop losing weight. It wasn't a ha-ha moment. She was being dead serious to stop losing weight, because I think I was making her feel bad about herself, which that's something within you, sis. Like, that's something you got to work on. You know, just like I'm very aware of my own jealousy issues that I've experienced, which I don't have those problems these days because I'm handling up on my business and stuff. But when I wasn't, and I was caught up in my addiction to food and everything, which, I mean, I'm addicted to food. That's just the truth of it. But right now my addiction is under control. But I don't act like I'm over it, because I'm not over it, you know? But anyway, when I was caught up in my food addiction and stuff, and just getting bigger and bigger and bigger, while, you know, I'm watching other people do what I should have been doing, you know, that was something within me. That's not about them, you know? And I would have been unhappy no matter what anyway. Even if I wasn't looking at them lose weight, I would have been unhappy, because I just was not happy where I was with the weight gain and the, you know, horrible eating and stuff, you know, whatever. So, and I'm going to say this, like, as I've gotten older, I kind of want to do a video about things that I learned kind of late in life. But one of the things, and I've heard people say this for most of my life, and I didn't understand it until I understood it, which is that a lot of how people treat you is not a reflection of you. It is about them and what's going on inside of them. You know, you can be mean to people and they can still show you kindness because of who they are, not the asshole that you're being, but because of who they are, you know? And so, you know, but yeah, so when you realize that, you stop taking a lot of stuff personally. And it also makes it a lot easier to heal from a lot of stuff, which is something that I've been doing for a while now. And it feels good. It feels good to be okay. It feels good to, like, you know, not worry about why somebody did X, Y, Z, like, and try to, and replay shit when it never had anything to do with me in the first place. You know? But anyway, the long and the short of it is weight loss jealousy is real. Hierarchy in relationships is real. There's a lot of different kinds of jealousy out there. So just because someone is seemingly doing better than you does not mean that they cannot be jealous of you. And we need to come to a place where when a woman is confident and popping her shit, that it doesn't trigger our demons where we decide like, you know, we want to bring her down and like, how dare she think well of herself? Aren't you supposed to think well of yourself? Shouldn't you think that you're wonderful and great and stuff? Like, why are people like this? That gets on my nerves so bad. Even when I was a kid, I used to watch these talk shows, and you could have the exact same girl. In one episode, she could say, I think I'm fat and ugly and disgusting and I hate myself. And then some woman in the audience, you are beautiful, okay? I want you to look in the mirror. You are so beautiful. You are the prettiest girl I've ever seen. Oh my gosh. Because it was usually some, you know, ghetto woman saying it. Anyway, you are just so beautiful, da-da-da-da, whatever, right? And, you know, everybody clapping, okay? Then you could have that same girl on another show where she says, I think I'm all that. I am so beautiful. I look in the mirror and I'm just like, girl, you're a bad bitch. And then somebody in the audience, same bitch, would be like, girl, if you could see what I see, you would sit your ass down because you look raggedy, toe up from the flow up. Bitch, why are we like this? Why are people like that? Let people live in their light. Let people glow, you know, but if you're that person and you're trying to glow, girl, just glow. Fuck these folks, okay? They fuck the haters. Like, again, it's something in them. It's not about you, okay? I'm going to get off my soapbox in a minute, but just glow, because people are always going to have something negative to say. And, you know, just be a bright, shiny light, you know, don't fuck the rest, you know, but I can't stand it. I really can't. I know it's like, I've been up all night. It's early morning my time, so I don't have a lot of energy right now. I want to yawn. But I want to get that off my chest is, you know, there's no such thing as like someone thinking too highly of themselves. Let them. Okay, geez Louise. I mean, if that's not how you see them, that's a personal thing, but you shouldn't dwell on it, and you certainly shouldn't let it cross your mouth. Like, shut up. Let people be, you know? And that's always bothered me. Not because I was that girl who walked around thinking my shit didn't stink, because I didn't. If anything, I had low self-esteem, but I just noticed, like, how people would try to tear you down, especially if they thought you had high self-esteem. They would try to ruin it for you. And it's like, stop being that way. That's so evil. It's not cute, you know? And I want to say this, okay, this is kind of OT, but like putting myself in that position, I was not in that exact position as the original topic of the friendships that, you know, you deal with a hater because you're glowing up and stuff, you know, with your looks and feeling good about yourself. I wasn't in that kind of situation. If I ever have been, I don't particularly remember, okay? But that being said, what I can say is this. Let's say they did have a conversation. This is a hypothetical. They had a conversation, the hateration girl and the girl who's losing weight. They have a conversation, and, you know, the hateration girl owns up to her shortcomings and says, you know, hey girl, I really am sorry I took it out on you. Obviously, like, I'm just not feeling great about myself. You know, I've gained weight, and, you know, it's just made me feel insecure that you're losing weight, or whatever, you know, her deal is, right? I'm the kind of person, because I've come to a place in my life where I've become very no nonsense when it comes to like friendships and relationships. I've developed more of a zero tolerance policy and stuff. Like, I'm not going to let people keep playing in my face. Like, the people in my past who have hurt me, they taught me to cut that shit off early on, to not let it continue. Don't let it bowl out of control or anything, right? But when it comes to apologies, I am someone that if you come to me real and honest and really put yourself, really like, you just cut all the bullshit and you just come to me real and heartfelt, that I can move on from. But if you can't do that and you make it about stuff that it's not really about, putting myself in the position of the girl who lost the weight and stuff, I would just, girl, let that friendship go. If you're in a position like that and that person can't be honest and real with you, I don't know why, but it kind of reminds me of like, I've seen this post circulating where there's a woman who, I guess she's like really pretty and stuff, and her friend sends her a message saying, hey girl, we're going to do this breakfast brunch thing and my man is going to be there. So don't wear all this makeup and get yourself all prettied up and stuff. Like, and she's like, wait, what? And, the girl is like, you don't have to do all that. Just like, don't be all extra. Just like, come normal and stuff. If that person could come to me and tell me, hey, I'm feeling down about myself, or hey, I feel like my boyfriend is attracted to you and it just makes me feel uncomfortable because I love him and of course I love you, and nothing's happened, but knowing that he's attracted to you makes me uncomfortable or something, you know what I mean? That's a real person conversation, and that's some shit I can get down with and stuff, and we can work through it. But if you make it about me and just say, nah, you just too extra, and they, you just want to dress cute and you like that, it's like, bitch, we ain't gonna be friends for long. Like, high key, low key. And I want to see people. It is 2026. The world is shitty. I mean, it's good things in the world too, but it's some crappy things going on. Can we please be real, especially with the people that we so-called love? Can we please be real and honest and just put ourselves out there? And I've been that person, and I love that about me. You want to talk about some high self-esteem? I love who I am. Don't get me wrong, I have my insecurities, but I love who I am because I am that person who I will come to people and tell them about, like, people I love and tell them, like, hey, I'm feeling insecure about XYZ, or, this is how I feel about XYZ or something like that. And I love that about me. And I want to see that in other people. And I feel like a lot of drama could be averted if people would just be real. Now, one thing I will say, and I'm going to shut up after I say this, is if I do open up to you, I do make myself vulnerable to you. Because this happened with a family member. I'm going to get this off my chest. I'm not going to get into the details of it. But I had a family member that I poured so many, like, embarrassing things that I was going through. I was very vulnerable at the time. And this woman said, and this is why I will never fuck with her again in life. I'm not kidding. I'm never in life. And this is blood. This is blood. Never again in life. Because she took my vulnerability and used it against me. Nah, boo. Nah, boo. And I'm not trying to be hateful because I don't hate her. I actually wish her well in life. But she lost connection to me after that. She lost connection to me. The way she acted, she has clearly wanted to connect with me again, and it's you blew it. The way you fucking blew it. So you don't use people's vulnerabilities against them when they are coming to you heartfelt. That I take very seriously. And when you call yourself apologizing, apologize for the right shit. and be real with people, if they're, especially people you love. It's one thing if you don't tell your boss, like, you know, let's say you're having problems at home and you don't tell all your business, all your tea to your boss or your coworker. You just say, yeah, I've been going through some stuff, you know, like, let's say you, like, you know, was rude at work and stuff, or you were rude at work and, you know, you apologize for it later. You don't have to tell those people your tea, but the people you so-called love, you can't be real with. What kind of relationship is that? That's one I don't want. I want people who I can be vulnerable with. And if I can't, and you show me I can't, then bye. Adios. You know? So this was like a mixed thing, but it's just talking about, you know, insecurities and, you know, how when you glow up, it will trigger people, yada, yada, you know, and that there's different kinds of jealousy out there and all that stuff. So anyway, end rant. Thanks for watching. Take care. Bye.